1,000 miles on the AT, I've picked up a bunch of tent hacks, and I want to share 7 of them with you today. The first hack weighs only 11 grams. After over 1,000 miles on the AT, I've picked up a bunch of tent hacks, and I want to share 7 of them with you today. The first hack weighs only 11 grams, but I bet you it saves a lot more weight than that. It's a Swedish dishcloth. Pack this thing in your bag. Whenever it rains or in the morning when you have dew, wipe down the outside of your tent with this thing. It soaks up all the water, and then you just wring it out. You can reuse it, hundreds, thousands of times. It weighs absolutely nothing, but soaking up all that water in the morning, not just rain, but dew, can save you more grams than this thing even weighs. Up next is my 24-inch by 24-inch gear mat. So this is a white Tyvek sheet. And whoops, I should have cleaned it out a little bit better after my last trip. Got some dirt on the ground here. But this is awesome for organizing your gear when you get to camp. I put this on the top of my pack. I put this down in front of the pack, and when I'm setting up camp, I unload everything onto this white gear mat, and it just provides a nice visible place to kind of transfer your gear from your pack eventually into your tent or some of the things that are going to go up in your bear bag. The other thing I like to do with this is I put it in the vestibule of my tent. And having this almost as like a little gear table, but also in my vestibule, I have a trekking pole tent. So I put the trekking pole on top of this. So if it gets a little windy or something like that, this is not going anywhere. And I've always got access to my little gear table here, my gear mat. And I can just reach out of my tent and grab anything here. Keeps it protected from the weather and also just makes it super visible. The other helpful thing about these is you can write notes on them. You could maybe write like an emergency contact number or something like that. The weight on this is 21 grams. You can get these sheets of Tyvek if you just look through like a construction site dumpster, or you can just ask really nice at a construction site, and I'm sure they would give you a sheet. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so to stay updated with the latest. One piece of gear that I thought I'd only be able to use for like 4 or 5 times, and then I would have to get a new one, is my Polycro ground sheet. So I've got a Duck brand heavy duty Polycro ground sheet. Like I said, when I first got this, I figured it might last 5-6 times because it's just a thin piece of plastic. But these are incredibly durable. I've used it over all kinds of surfaces: rocks, leaves, sticks, pine cones, you name it. Wet, dry. This is a champ, and it holds up. It's never got a hole in it. It does not have any holes. I've used it dozens and dozens and dozens of times. The other tip with this, and kind of a bonus hack, when you get to camp, throw this down on the ground and then lay down on it. So that way you can kind of feel and you can kind of sense whether your head is slightly up, if you're flat, or if your head is down. And obviously you don't want your head to be downhill. You want to be slightly elevated on your head, or you want to be completely flat. I love the Durston X-Mid. I have the X-Mid 1, not the Pro version, but just the regular version. And I absolutely love it. Number 1, for the value, but number 2, for the design innovativeness of it. It keeps me dry. It's easy to pitch. But the coolest thing about it, and kind of like the hack that I wanted to talk to you about, is that you can pitch the fly and the inner separately. So when you get to camp, you can set up the outer if it's raining and hop in, then set everything up on the inside where you're nice and dry. Likewise, in the morning when you're packing up, if it's raining, you just get inside, undo the inner. As your very last step, you take down the outer, and then you can strap that on your pack or something like that if it's raining. I would highly recommend Durston. The value is great. It's an awesome tent. Also an amazing community. Like anywhere he's mentioned, he will, Dan Durston himself will like appear on social media and make a comment. I wouldn't be surprised if he made it a comment on this video. It's the middle of the night. You're kind of dazed from being tired, and you need to use the bathroom quick. So you hop up and you're just searching for those zippers along the side of your tent. One tip that you can do with that is get yourself some tenacious tape. And tenacious tape comes in a couple of different varieties. There's the regular, I've got orange here, tenacious tape, but they also make tenacious tape that is reflective. And the cool thing about the reflective tenacious tape is you can take some scissors and just cut a strip off and then loop it around all of your zipper pulls. When you shine a light on this, it's going to be the first thing that lights up. This is an easy way to add some nice reflectivity so you can find your zippers fast, especially when you really need to find them fast. Also, kind of tent related, but also just general gear related, if you haven't got the roll of tenacious tape, I would highly recommend a roll. I've seen people do all kinds of repairs on the trail with tenacious tape, and if you don't have it and you need it, you're going to really wish you had it. It's waterproof. The adhesive is extremely strong. It's a solid product. Definitely something you want to throw in your emergency gear kit. Tent stake pushers. Especially here in the rocky Virginia soil, pick yourself up one of these. I actually sell them on my Etsy shop. And let me tell you, before I use these, I used to just use the sole of my trail runners until I almost popped a hole directly into my trail runners. These things only weigh 5 grams. They're extremely handy. What I do is I just tie one onto one of my MSR groundhog stakes, and I use this one to kind of like go around and plug each one in, and it just coats right here on your palm, and being able to push that in like that is incredibly helpful and just gives you a real kind of like a mechanical advantage in a way of being able to push that down in there. But these tent stake pushers are incredibly handy. I also have some trowel pushers and all kinds of other things in my Etsy shop, so definitely check it out. Also, hey, if you haven't already, please take the time to subscribe. I enjoy making this content. For me, it's fun, it's a hobby, it's like a creative expression, but it's also awesome when I have a really good audience, and I've been very impressed with how quickly my audience has grown. I love all the comments, I love all the engagements, and please just keep it up. If you haven't subscribed, please take the time to subscribe and maybe even hit the bell icon. All right, well, I hope everyone has a great fall, and I know I'm going to be out on the trail soon, and I hope you will be too. See you guys later.